What's going on, everybody? It is I, your coach, Melanie Black, and I am here today on week 1 of an 18-week series of my most massive weight loss journey experiment yet. That's right, I have deliberately gained 50 pounds this past year so that I could document the journey to weight loss in a weekly series right here for you on YouTube. It occurred to me that a lot of us really struggle with these concepts of how do I get started? How do I measure? What should the food look like? All these things. So I'm going to take you on a deep nitty-gritty dive on all of the minutia, everything you need to know about actually losing weight in a healthy but fast kind of way, right? Because who wants to stay here? Not me. Now, if you want to stay here, remember, I'm a body positive coach. I support you at whatever weight you're at. If you want to stay where you're at, that's totally cool with me. But I'll tell you what, one of the things that we're going to get into today is some of the struggles that I have experienced with weight gain. Gaining weight can be really painful on a number of levels. And although I'm not as concerned with the aesthetics, sure, I like a good muscle pop for aesthetics, but it wasn't traumatic for me to gain the weight aesthetics wise, but it did definitely hurt. So we're going to talk about how weight gain hurt. We're going to talk about how to actually get started on your weight loss journey. I'm going to show you about my meal plan, how to take measurements. I'm going to show you my before pictures. Oh man. Okay. So this is a full honest disclosure, no holds barred as we go through these upcoming weeks. If I fall off plan, if I struggle, I'm going to be completely honest with you and let you know. Now, obviously, this is not my first rodeo, so don't feel bad if you're having more struggles than I am. When I first got into fitness, yes, I was 100 pounds overweight and I had no clue what I was doing. And I did a bunch of dumb stuff, just like we all do, because there's a lot of misinformation out there and it's really hard, right? I did a juice cleanse. I did all kinds of garbage that actually made me gain weight. And then I finally figured it out. And when I did, it was so life-changing for me, revolutionized how I felt not only physically but mentally, and that's what actually got me into the business and got me interested in sports nutrition and being a personal trainer, and that's how my career path has gone for the past 10 years. Now, last year I was talking to somebody who was in their 40s, a student of mine who was in their 40s, and she said to me that, hey, look, I know you lost a lot of weight when you were younger. I know you will gain and lose small amounts of weight to test out your meal plans or whatever, but losing weight when you're in your 40s is harder. It's just not the same. And I know that every body is different, but there was a needling curiosity in me. Now that I'm 42, I'm like, is it going to be harder for me? If you could travel back in time and tell your younger self, if I knew then what I know now, kind of a thing. So I'm revisiting that. I gained back on 50 pounds. Now, the original plan, I won't lie, I've already run into trouble with this, okay? I've already had some major struggles. My first major struggle with this experiment was that my original plan was to gain back on 75 pounds to get up to 225 pounds, which was as heavy as I was at my heaviest back in the day. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't for a couple of reasons. So we're going to talk about struggles with weight gain. We're going to talk about how to get started on your weight loss journey, how to do measurements, what you're looking at doing for meal prep and food planning. I'm going to show you what I ate this week so far. I'm going to show you my before pictures, all that good stuff. I'm going to answer a couple of questions that I got about this whole process, and we'll do that starting right now. Okay, so let's get the weight gain journey part out of the way real quick here. It is really hard to transform your body when you are underslept. Full stop, period. If you are not getting enough sleep and you want to gain weight or lose weight, that is your very first step. When I was at my most stressed, my body plateaued when I was trying to gain weight. The same thing will happen to you if you're trying to lose weight. So make sure, number one priority, that if you are trying to do a weight loss or a fat loss journey, get your sleep in order. Get your sleep in order, and we will talk more about that on a different episode. So that's number one. Now, I will tell you that so around 150 is kind of my sweet spot for me feeling good, right? So between 150 and 175 pounds, honestly, if it wasn't for my clothes not fitting anymore, I wouldn't have even known the difference. My performance didn't suffer. I was enjoying the food I was eating. I didn't feel bad at all. That first, 20, 25 pounds of weight gain didn't really impact me physically. There was a huge difference between 20 and 30 pounds, though. When I got up to like 180, 185, that's when my back pain started to creep back in. That's when my anxiety and panic attacks started to creep back in. That is when my feet started hurting again, my knees started hurting again, my joints. It started to impact my performance. It was very difficult for me, is still difficult for me to do jumping exercises. So that's when it started, is when I started getting into the 30 pounds overweight range, that it actually started impacting me on a physical and mental level. And then between 180 and 190, I was like kind of getting used to just feeling bad all the time again, honestly. And then I was like stuck at 190 for a really long time, unable to gain more weight. And then I was finally like, okay, I need to get my sleep in order. I need to get my stuff together so that I can finish this experiment. And I decided at that point that I was not going to go all the way to a 75-pound weight gain, because I just didn't have it in me to do that to myself, do that to my body for this experiment. So I was like, I'm going to make it an even 200, and was able to get my sleep in order, gain the rest of the final 10 pounds back on. I actually got it up to 13,203 was my weigh-in day. And so do I still feel lousy? Yeah, I do. I know you can't tell because I'm just such a bubbly personality, but part of it is the fact that I'm just so certain that I know how to get back to where I was. If I didn't have that certainty, I would be a lot more depressed right now. That's the thing that I think a lot of people underestimate, is things that make you uncertainty will make you incredibly like hopeless, helpless, depressed feeling. And I think that's part of the reason why this year in particular, 2020 and the election and all these things, why that was weighing on folks more than you realize this year, right? So definitely give yourself a pass if you've been stressed out with all these things. And yeah, so I'm not worried about losing the weight. I know how to do it. It's going to take me probably 18 weeks to get the full 50 pounds off, which is still a very aggressive schedule for fat loss, by the way. But I've done this plan literally with thousands of people, and so I pretty much know what to expect at this point. So I'm kind of excited to do a full 50-pound fat loss with myself, and I'm going to share with you right now the before pictures. Oh gosh, it's so embarrassing. Okay, I'm not really that embarrassed. I have no shame. Let's do a screen share. Oh no, here I am. Okay, so today is the 18th. I took these pictures on the 16th. So this is the full fatness that I have gained, and yeah, so here I am, age 42, height 5'5", weighed in at 103 pounds, neck 13.25 inches, waist 37, belly at belly button 41, hips 46, bicep 13.5, thigh 27.5, calves 18.5, and my estimated body fat percentage is between 40 and 45% right now. And yeah, so that is my measurements. So let me talk a little bit about measurements and before photos, because this is super important. Before photos and measurements. Now, I know that a lot of people are really resistant to this. They're like, oh, I don't wanna, don't make me look at the scale, don't make me see myself. But it's fine, right? It's the thing that you need these for is not to obsess, not to be down on yourself, but as you are making progress, we call them progress photos, right? They shouldn't really be called before and after photos. They're progress photos. You're gonna check in with yourself periodically. Now, I am gonna be taking progress photos weekly for this particular project. For most people, once every 6 weeks is plenty. Same thing with measurements and weight on the scale. Now, yes, I say do your weight on the scale with the full understanding that your body weight will fluctuate 8 pounds in a day. It totally can fluctuate a lot on the scale, which is why you want to have one of these buggers. Handy dandy, easy peasy, cheap, analog solution for tracking fat loss. And you'll want to get your measurements in several different places. The first one is around the neck. To do around the neck, you make sure there's no twist in it. Make sure you start at the end that there's a 1 on, so you don't end up with a 47-inch neck. And you go around and you just feel where the little metal tab ends, pinch it at the metal tab, and release. And then you have your neck measurement, okay, right where your thumbnail is. And then you do that for, I like to do around the biceps, right around the midsection of the biceps with the arm in the relaxed 90-degree position, not the flexed, but the relaxed 90-degree position. Around any areas that you have a particular interest in showing fat loss. Now, if you tend to carry a lot around the chest, then maybe around the chest, over the nipple line is a good one for you. The other ones that I took for myself are right around the smallest part of the waist. So again, here, when you take your waist measurement, don't look down at the tape because that's going to add extra inches to the tape. Stand upright, find the metal tab, pinch it right where that metal tab ends, and then you have your waist measurement. And then waist around the belly button. So you find your belly button, you make sure that the measuring tape is level with the floor. Again, same thing here. We don't want to look down at it because that's going to add inches. So we're just going to stand upright and feel where that metal tab ends. Voila, put your thumbnail on it. And it might take a little bit for you to get the hang of this around the booty, widest part of the booty. And then also I did thighs and calves because I got big old thighs. Now when I do thighs, I always make a note of how far over, how much higher than the kneecap I measure. So in my case, I went 9 inches above the kneecap and then around the thigh to get that measurement, and then the widest part of the calf. So you can take measurements of any area of the body, but that's how we do, is just with the measuring tape. And that will give you a good indicator of actual fat loss, not just weight loss on the scale. So weight loss on the scale can be very wild and fluctuating. Your measuring tape will tell you a more consistent, slower but more consistent story. So yes. So that is how I took measurements, and I had my husband take photos for me with the phone, and yeah, that's day one, easy peasy. Okay, now as far as meal prep goes, here is on this side what my fridge looks like. I've got large Tupperware containers. Each Tupperware container contains a different food group. So I've got a Tupperware container that contains a bunch of shredded vegetables, cabbage and carrots and onions that I'll keep very well in the fridge. There is a container of ground chicken and beef and onions, so my protein box there. I've got a container of rice and beans, and that is my carbohydrate box. Then over on the left side, I've got my 0% Greek yogurt. I've got tofu, I've got more cabbage and carrots, and I've got eggs. So this is everything that I'm putting on my meal plan. For beverages, I got 3 of my absolute favorite teas, Sleepy Time Mint, Bengal Spice, and Lemon Lavender from Celestial Seasonings. So good. Mango sparkling water, and of course, can't live without my coffee. Black coffee. We don't want to drink our calories on this plan. So here we go. Photo journaling. This is how I recommend that you do your food journal. Now, even though I have a written plan with exactly how much protein, fat, carbohydrate, all that good stuff I'm eating with the measurements, ready to rock and roll, if I don't take photos of it, I will literally forget what I eat. So, and this is totally normal. Everybody does this. So if you are going about your business with your meal plan, you have your nice little meal plan printed, you know that you're having, well, in my case, I'm having for breakfast, I'm having 5 ounces of protein, 4.5 ounces of carbohydrates, 6 ounces of vegetables, and then for snack, protein, vegetables, lunch, the same, dinner, fat, vegetable, protein, no carbs at dinner time. I know that I'm supposed to eat those things, and even though I'm eating them in order most of the time, I literally will forget. Did I have breakfast? What did I have for breakfast? Did I eat my vegetable yet? Did I have my protein yet? I can't remember. So when you do yourself a favor, when you start on your new meal plan, even if you have it written down, even if you have all of your meals prepped, take a snapshot of what you eat before you eat it, and just be in the habit of doing this. And especially if you end up having something that is off plan, if you end up having like a dessert or something else, take a picture of that too. Be honest with yourself. That way you can have, keep good track of what you're actually doing. Now, getting back to the screen share here, I also do a daily weigh-in, same time of day, same clothes, well, except for today I didn't wear socks, but yes. So day 1, I weighed in at 203 pounds. Day 2, 200.2. Day 3, 198.8. And I'm eating a good volume of food. Maybe not quite all of the vegetables, but yes, plenty of food here. I have not felt hungry at all. The meal plans that I recommend are going to be a high volume, low calorie meal plan with lots of lean protein, with carbohydrates, with fats. All of your major macronutrients are in there. If you need a meal plan, if you're not already a member of the Nerd Gym, you can go ahead and join www.thenerdgym.com. That will take you to our Patreon page, and you can join at any membership level, and I will give you your personal meal plan. Okay, so the one I'm talking about is my personal meal plan. I've got all the macros and all of the ounces figured out, so I just have to weigh out like, an ounce of, or 6 ounces of a handful of vegetables or whatever. I'll do the same thing for you. If you're already a member of the Nerd Gym, this is the pump plan that I'm on, Power Up Meal Plan. That is by far our most consistent, I know that I'm going to be able to lose that 50 pounds on this plan. No problem. So that is where we're at so far. So we're just at the very beginning of the fat loss journey. If you want to see next week's episode, like I said, I'm going to be doing this every single week. And as we stack these weeks, you will see progress. I will disclose to you all of my struggles. Now I'm just a few days into my meal plan, so no struggles yet, no major food cravings yet. The main thing that I know I can do for myself to prevent myself from getting those major food cravings for sugar and everything else is eat all the food on my meal plan, which I haven't quite been doing. So that's my very first struggle, is there is a lot of food on this meal plan, and if I don't actually eat all of the food, then a couple days from now I'm going to start getting uncontrollable hunger cravings. So I have to make sure that I am eating all of my vegetables, not just the one serving of vegetables like I had today. So there's still time. I'm going to have some more vegetables. I'm going to have some eggs for dinner tonight. So I'm not quite done with my day of eating for today, but yes, so things that I've been having so far, like I said, has been rice and beans. It's been eggs, vegetables, all pretty hearty stuff. It's pretty good. Yes, so that is my week 1, day 3, and we'll be checking in again next week. So if you want to see that, go ahead and click the bell icon, subscribe, all that stuff. Now, I did get a question about this weight loss journey. And the question was a very valid one, because I was speaking to one of my students about this project that I'm doing right now, and explained to her that yes, I will frequently test out my meal plans, because I've got several other meal plans to choose from for folks, not just the Power Up meal plan. And I will test them out on myself by gaining 20 pounds or 10 pounds just to make sure, because sometimes things look good on paper. They look really good on paper, and then you try it out and you're like, this is not doable at all. So I always test out my meal plans before I give them to y'all. But this is a big weight gain, and she asked me, isn't it unhealthy to do this? Isn't it unhealthy to gain all of this weight and lose and essentially yo-yo diet? And the answer is absolutely yes. I do not recommend to anyone watching to deliberately gain on 50 pounds. Now, does 50-pound weight gain happen? Yeah, it happens. You don't want to fluctuate that much. Now, the body is designed to handle some fluctuation, right? You're not going to push yourself into an unhealthy zone if you fluctuate like 10 pounds here and there, like your winter body, your summer body. That's super normal. To fluctuate like 10, 15 pounds, not a big deal, guys. But once we get into the 20, 30, 40, 50 pound range, yeah, you don't want to be fluctuating that much. That's generally a big no-no. I am doing this because I'm a little nuts, because I like weird challenges. There's nothing going on this year as far as like, there's no bodybuilding competitions, there's no powerlifting competitions, there's no getting out for obstacle course runs with folks because of the whole COVID thing. So I really couldn't think of a better time to do this to myself. Once I realized where things were headed this year, I kind of got the idea that I wanted to do it, like last year. That's kind of when I had this conversation with the original person who challenged me that losing this 50 pounds past the age of 40 was not so easy. And but I was like, well, at some point I'll do this. And then when I realized how things were shaking out for 2020, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be doing any other competitions. I may as well do this crazy thing to my body. But yeah, it's not healthy. It's not. It is. It's no more healthy than like an eating competition or some other crazy thing. People do crazy things to their bodies sometimes. So this is not something I am proposing that any one of my students do to themselves. Think of this as like, I'm doing this to myself so you don't have to. I'm gonna help you troubleshoot and prove out this plan as we go. So many people are doing the same plan with me right now. If you would like to have extra support and accountability and do this plan, there's a number of ways to join the Nerd Gym and do this with me. So go to www.thenerdgym.com and you can sign up for a consultation with me if that's something you want to do. If you have other questions just about weight loss, fat loss, mindset, journey, all that stuff, just drop them in the comments below, and I will get to them on the next episode of this weight loss journey that's happening next week. All right. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. I think, was that all the questions I had? Yes, just the is it bad to yo-yo question. Okay, good. All right. So until next time, ask me all your questions on fat loss, and we'll check in again and see what my progress is. I'll do another weigh-in, measurements, progress photos, all that stuff next week. So I will see you there. Bye. Bye, bye, baby, bye, bye. And in the live stream.